Okay, so I'm going to try to show you step by step how to complete your design for your radial painting. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to make the wedge that is 1/12 of your pie. Okay, so you could come over here and just do a design, and it can be random. It does not have to represent anything. So it could just be, you know, some lines. Like that, for instance. Okay, I'm doing mine in pen. You're going to do yours in pencil so that when you make a mistake, you can just erase it really easily. But this would be 1/12 of the pie. So once you get a design that you really like, what you can do is create a tracing of that that is 1/6 of the pie. So you're going to take your original 1/12 piece right here, and you're going to flip it over and trace it using a light table or using a window so that these two face each other. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to show you how to do that with a fairly light piece of paper. So first of all, I'm going to trace my 1/12 wedge. You can use a light table or a window. You're going to do yours more accurately with a ruler where it's straight. Okay, I'm just doing mine kind of in a hurry so that I can show you, okay? So I'm tracing that piece. Okay, and then I'm going to flip over this paper, and I'm going to go ahead and make this darker because I can see it from this side. You may have to use a light table or a window for this. So this is the design in reverse. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it underneath here and put it right next to this other wedge. And I'm going to make a 1/6 wedge that is symmetrically balanced. Okay, and I can't see this very well, so I'm doing the best I can. Yours is going to be a lot better because you're going to use, whoops, I screwed up. You're going to use a light table. Okay. Okay, so it's something like that. Okay, that was me hurriedly doing this. So that's going to be your wedge, and this is 1/6. Oops, sorry. 1/6 of the pie. So you need 6 of these to create the entire pie. Now, the diameter or the radius on this is only like 5 inches. You want your drawing to have a radius of 10 inches. So you can either photocopy this at 200% if you have a way to do that, or you could just do this proportionately. So on this first one, you could take your first wedge, it might be easier to see it this way, take your first wedge and redo it at a 10-inch radius. So for instance, what you could do is you could recreate your wedge with this being 10 inches, okay? And I'm actually going to go get a ruler. I'm going to make sure that this is exactly 10 inches. And I'm going to create a wedge. Now, so I measured this, and I have my 10 inches, and I know that this wedge, because it's this first one, because it's 1/12, it is going to be 30 degrees. This angle right here is going to be 30 degrees. Okay? So what I can do is I can take a protractor, and let me try to make sure you can see here. I'm going to take a protractor, and I have this pointing at the 90, and I'm going to go to 120 and make that my 30 degrees. So I can draw from my point out to my 30-degree line. And this is going to be the 1/10 version of my wedge. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and measure my 10 inches here as well. And I'm going to go ahead and measure another 10-inch one here, and another 10-inch one here. And that is going to become the outside edge of my circle. Okay? And you can make sure yours is a little more accurate than mine. So now I can use my design and, you know, do it twice as big. So I could, you know, just kind of look at this design and say, you know, I kind of like this. I'm going to go ahead and do that again. And I'm going to do that again. And I'm going to do that again, only bigger. And this can go like this. And this can come down here like this. So I'm basically doing this proportionately to what my original was. My original was just a sketch. Now I'm doing the actual design. And just for the record, you're going to do yours in pencil so that if you screw up, that it'll be okay. Okay. So this is my 1/12. Then I would use this to make my 1/6, and I would trace this using a light table. I'm going to go ahead and measure out another 30 degrees from here. So that edge would be at 120. And I can use my ruler and draw out and kind of get an idea of where that needs to be. Okay? And then you're going to use a light table and you can trace this accurately. Now, I'm just kind of goofing around, okay? Because I don't have as much time as you guys are going to have. So make sure you actually trace this, okay? So that it is accurate, and that the balance is perfect and it's perfectly symmetrical. Okay, then you can trace this 6 times onto your big sheet of paper to create your entire wheel. Then you can start painting. Now, if you use pencil, which I highly suggest you do, in fact, I wouldn't not use pencil. The only reason I'm using pen is so you can see it. You absolutely need to erase down all of the excess pencil. Then decide what your color scheme is going to be, what colors you're going to use for your painting. And when you decide that, you need to mix up the lightest color first, okay? If your lightest color is just plain yellow, then do everything that's yellow. And these are all going to be identically color. So if it's yellow here, it's going to be yellow here, yellow here, yellow here, yellow here, yellow here. Okay? Then let's say your next color is, say you're going to do an analogous color scheme. Your next color might be yellow-green. So you need to mix up enough yellow-green that you have plenty to cover the entire painting. You may need several coats to make it opaque, so make sure you mix enough each time. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to email me, and I hope that explains it fairly well. Thanks.